the system of government has carefully considered a complicated and controversial issue. There are those that believe in it and those that are opposed.
Palm Coast Mayor David Alfin talking about a charter amendment on the ballot today. A lawsuit was filed to remove the amendment, and now a court ruling is in.
A Flagler County judge has denied a lawsuit demanding the votes on a Palm Coast charter amendment be tossed out that could change the city's borrowing limits with contractors. Mayor Alfin says he understands the need for the democratic process in the court.
One of the other outcomes is that I think that we have engaged more residents because of this than we have in many other issues in the past. And in order for government to be successful, we need everyone to participate and have an opinion.
The lawsuit filed by resident and former mayoral candidate Alan Lowe claimed the ballot summary did not sufficiently explain the purpose of the amendment and was misleading to voters. Vice Mayor Ed Danko is concerned about the potential outcome at the ballot box for this reason.
Which, if approved, will give the city a blank check to borrow money, all for the benefit of the developers of the so-called westward expansion and at the expense of the citizens who will forever be surrendering their right to vote on any future bond issue.
Palm Coast mayoral candidate Cornelia Manfrey also has an issue with the charter amendment.
I wouldn't have objected to an increase request, but an open-ended, I think, is way too much, and I thought the language was very misleading.
There's been discussion at council meetings if the charter amendment is passed by voters, more court action may occur. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, November 5th.
We have to get approved like any other borrower. So, if you can't prove that you can pay back the loan, then you don't get the loan.
With the lawsuit being rejected by the judge, the fate of the controversial charter amendment will now be decided by voters.
Palm Coast City Councilwoman Teresa Pontieri shared her thoughts on the referendum during last week's Friday free-for-all, and she said without expanding the city's borrowing authority, the city council could be faced with some tough decisions. And
that's where you get into the discussion of are we going to have to raise certain rates or property taxes and things like that. And I hate the saying that, we either have to cut taxes or cut services. I don't believe in that. I think that there are ways to leverage technology, efficiencies, looking at org charts, things like that, ways to become more efficient.
Pontieri clarified her point.
I don't believe that there's too much staff. I think that, we put a lot of boots on the ground this year. In stormwater, we added 10 new stormwater boots on the ground. I think that, when you're looking at how can people be used most efficiently. So to say that we have too much staff, I can't say that. That's not my job. That's a city manager's job. But is everybody doing what they're best suited for? Is everybody being the most efficient they can be and really getting the most bang for the taxpayer's dollar?
Tomorrow, we'll hear Pontieri's thoughts on a possible moratorium on development as a way to protect Palm Coast's aging infrastructure. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Newton.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Local leaders gathered yesterday on Justice Lane in Bunnell to break ground on the new Florida State Guard multi-agency regional training facility. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
This $10 million facility will take the training for first responders and the Florida State Guard soldiers to the next level. This saves the taxpayers locally for having to build a training complex that can be used by all first responders, both fire, police, and sheriff's office employees. This new facility will have a dedicated firearms range, a tactical training house, and emergency vehicle operation training course.
Bunnell Mayor Catherine Robinson was on hand, and she said Bunnell has a lot going on.
I want to thank Speaker Renner. He has been a wonderful, wonderful advocate for the city of Bunnell and for Flagler County. We have the Nexus building going up. We have our building going up, our city hall going up, our police department going up. We have the Sheriff Operations Center going up. We have Commerce Park that's currently being built, and our wastewater treatment plant. All of these projects would not be possible if it wasn't for Speaker Renner. So thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.